welcome. We are here at the Patterson Mansion in Washington, D.C. with Super Bowl champion, community leader, author, and actor Kyle Arrington, along with his beautiful wife, nutritionist, wellness coach, and event planner, VaShonda Arrington, also known as V. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Appreciate you having us.
Our pleasure.
What she said.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. How are you both doing?
Doing good, doing well. It's nice, we're out here in D.C. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Real neoclassical, kind of John Wick, what's the Continental, right? I feel like we're at the Continental, Now I'm a movie buff, if you haven't noticed.
So I'm doing great, live and well. We don't have the kids right now, so it's kind of like our time. So I'm good.
So tell us about how you two met, how the love story began.
So you want
We got two-
you want my version
we
or
got
her?
two stories.
Oh, matter of fact, you want her version or you want the truth?
Well, we'll take both versions.
No. So we both went to Glen Park High School. So we didn't date in high school. We were familiar with each other back then. Didn't have a lot of the same classes. She'll like to be like, well, because I had AP classes. She always like throw that in my face, from time to time. Then both graduated in, dare I say?
Yeah.
Back in 04.
Yep.
Went to, after college, came back, reconnected. Same group of mutual friends still, so we reconnected after, 2 years from graduating
it was like
school?
2009, 2010.
Reconnected. She had on, we went on a just a trip, like say, a group of mutual friends. She had on this dress, and she came out in this dress. I still remember this dress to my day. I'm actually picturing it in my head right now as because I'm about to marry you all over again. And I said, hold on, is that's VaShonda? I said, okay, all right. She always had a great head on her shoulder. Come from a great family, just almost one of the kind, caring, persons that you'll ever meet. But I was like, hold on, baby, grew up and grew out a little bit. All right.
About to shoot a shot.
Right.
Yeah. No, she's playing a little hard to get at first, so she's about to miss a blessing. But,
You know what? Well, somewhat of that story is somewhat true. I don't know about missing my blessing, but yeah. But really, we just had the same group of mutual friends. We would have like game nights, things like that. So one of his friends who we still hang out with to this day would come over, and he kind of would bring him when he was in town because he was playing football during that time. So I was like, no, I'm working. I'm kind of focusing on me. I was in the space where I was dating myself, so I wasn't really trying to date anybody.
She stereotyped me too.
No. A little bit, but no, I just really was focused on me at the time. So then one time he asked if he could talk to me. We had a conversation. I was like, wow, he's pretty intelligent. Like he carried a good conversation, and certain things, in all honesty, if I say it, like certain things I prayed for, it was being answered in that moment for me. So like I said, I was in a space where I was dating myself, and I just feel as though the answers were coming, and I'm like, oh wow. And I talked to my grandmother. And she'll never ask me if you dating anybody. I was like, no, it's this guy that's interested in me, but he played football. She was like, well, I'm gonna just tell you, don't judge him for who he is based off of what he does. And when she told me that, I was like, okay, wow. And so.
Love you, Grammy.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't college football. This is actually the NFL.
Yeah,
at the
NFL.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. And so, we went out on a date, and I don't know, I'm sure he better remember our first movie. But yeah, and after that.
What was
that
the first movie, Kyle?
From Love.
Nope.
From Paris. I'm sorry. Hold on, wait a
You
minute.
had it
From
wrong.
Paris, I got it backward. From Paris with Love.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't that great of a movie. John Travolta was in it.
Haven't really put out.
It was okay.
Travolta ain't really put out anything great since Grease, but
Don't say that.
no,
But
since Face Off.
But no.
Okay, I give him that one. I give him that one.
But you both attended different colleges. You at
Yes.
North Carolina A&T, and you at Hofstra.
Yes.
Yes.
How did you both reconnect?
Like I said, well, first of all, with her going to A&T, she just will not,
Aggie pride.
yeah, I'm about to say.
You can't say A&T without saying Aggie pride.
I'm about to say, I'm sure half of your audience might already know what school she went to because anywhere she goes, she gonna let you know. I went to the Aggie Pride, G-Ho this, G-Ho that. I'm like, all right. And so I just say, suffice to say, I didn't have that same experience. Okay. I went to Hofstra University in Long Island, and it was quite the opposite experience, but something I'm very grateful for because it was a a melting pot. New York. Obviously it's not the Big Apple, but Long Island still. But even different group of races, creeds, ideologies. You name it. So it made me realize that okay, the world is bigger than Prince George's County. And growing up in Prince George's County, at that time it was at least 70%, people that look like us, right? So that's all, it's all we see, know, and we're accustomed to. And so to have, like I said, to have that experience and, to kind of get you ready for it. How the world is, like I said, something I'm appreciative for.
Okay. So Kyle, coming from Hofstra, a D1 AA school, was there any pressure transitioning, acclimating to the into professional level? Kind of had that small fish in a big pond, feeling coming from, like I said, Hofstra to the big boy leagues, I'll just say. But, I just, kept the same mindset that, as far as, on the field, that got me to, where I was at that point. And so when I realized, I realized early that, I belong here. We have this, in football point system. So, when you first get there, they'll always kind of keep track of, what you're doing, as far as, PBUs, interceptions, breakups, hustle points, that kind of thing. And as a guy like, myself coming from a small school, you want to, you have to do something every single day to, keep yourself on those coaches' radar. And when I realized that I was at the top of that, leader, that point list right out the gate and ended that way all the way even through training camp. So we're talking about, mini camp, OTAs, mini camp, rookie camp, the veteran mandatory camp as well. So it made me realize now, and I'm going against guys like Deshaun Jackson, coming out of high school, coming out of college as well, was in my draft class. And so, how to say, iron sharpens iron. And so I realized at an early, stage that this is where I belong. I earned the right to be here, and I belong. Most definitely.
Yes.
So was there any learning curves off the field?
No, off of the field. So I will say there are perks with, to be naive. There are perks that comes on the field and off the field when it comes to, being a professional athlete. So one thing, you cannot let them distract you though from your job ultimately. It's a job just like anybody else. It's a fun job, to be able to play a football, a kid's game at a professional level still like that. But even still, it's the ultimate, you have to be the ultimate consummate professional. And so you can't let a lot of the potential distractions, deter you or derail you from that. I've seen plenty of guys far more talented than myself, and I didn't give themselves an opportunity to be great, only because, like I said, they got caught up in those distractions.
Now, do you apply these learning techniques or learning curves to your family life?
Absolutely.
Good question. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm just.
What you mean,
No, I'm just joking. No, that's a great question.
I will say one thing that I loved and enjoyed about football, sports in general, but especially football, is that it's transferable life skills. Okay. So as hard as I worked on the field, is as equally, more even harder I want to work at life. So it teaches you the accountability, teamwork, just fighting for a common goal, group of people, person. And so I like to think.
No.
Maybe you got to ask her. I like to think that I apply those same skills off of the field as well.
I definitely think you do, even when it comes to, leadership in our household, as far as showing the kids that it's more to life than just football, but also using those skills that you did learn from childhood up until professional, team, like you said, teamwork. I honestly think that when it comes to making decisions, it is a team, so that's something that I can truly appreciate as well. So.
Now we do know.
Okay.
Oh, so good.
No, I think you do okay. I think you do okay. No.
You guys are doing a fantastic job.
No, thank you.
We all know that you have 3 beautiful children. How do you both manage family life and football life?
You want to take that one?
Okay, so I'll say originally while he was playing, we had Kyle Jr. at first, and then we had Caden. Callie didn't come along until after football. Okay. And so even during that time, before I moved up to Boston, I was working contracting in the government. So I became pregnant. I decided to move up because that was best for our family at that time. And so during that time, I think it was just really just incorporating, making sure house was taken care of and things of that nature that made it easier. So, because football is a mental game, right? So it's physical, but before you can be defeated mentally before you even get to the field. So I think that it was really making sure that, house was a safe haven. Home was a safe haven for him. And even balancing it with the kids. I mean, we had them in tow. I mean, from Super Bowl games, baby on a, in a harness. Hayden was in a harness. We're up at the, we're in, where was that last one? Arizona? Yeah. So, I mean, we're a baby in tow. He was, born December. Super Bowl was February. So, he's always tried to make sure that family is incorporated in everything that he does, which makes it, more comfortable for us as well. And I think even life after football, incorporating Callie, like all the things that we do off the field, the kids are there. They see all the work that we're doing. So they see that, okay, it was football. Daddy played football, but also it's community work. It's more than just that. And we make sure that they're a part of it. So, yeah.
What she said.
Okay. So, Kyle, you had a 9-year career that went to 2 Super Bowls and you won in 2015. You also led the league in interceptions in 2011. So what ultimately made you hang up the cleats?
So thing about it is we all want to go out on our own terms, right? Especially as football players. We look at it ourselves, gladiators, right? And in any gladiator, you always want to go out on your own terms. But more times than not, in the reality of things, is that's not always the case. And for me, it was just one too many concussions, and when the risk starts to outweigh the reward, is something that you really have to think about. Well, for us, can really take much thought. She was like, "No, you're done, right?"
No, I didn't say that.
Maybe not in those words.
I said
but
it more
she
so
did,
like the
she did
same
infer.
reason why you were playing this game is the same reason why you have to end the game, because you were playing for your family and because you want to set up our family, in a certain way, but at the same time, for your family, we need you here.
Yeah.
So, worried about more so his safety and the long-term effects. I was just like, I think that it's okay if you're okay to end, don't feel as though, I didn't want him to feel as though he had to continue to play because, I'm saying, okay, you need to keep playing the game, or the family, because he has, so much family around him and he feels the pressure of continuing to play the game.
So it wasn't necessarily that Dennis Quaid any given Sunday
Yeah,
moment.
I was like, you
I don't know. Shane, I don't know if y'all remember that. Has anybody seen that? We're like, you going what? She slapped him. No, you gonna keep playing. And so it wasn't nothing like that.
No, it was totally opposite.
She's more concerned about your health.
Right, exactly. I mean, we have, like you said, at the time we had 2 boys, and I'm like, I want you to be here for them, for us, but really to be in their life and be able to be in their life
Of sound mind
and body. My main thing is always going to be his health. So it wasn't to me, it wasn't a thought. It's like, okay, because I've seen it firsthand myself, and so I was thinking to myself, okay, this is, that was it for me. Like, that was it for me.
That last
so
hit.
yeah, and I mean, it's really about quality of life, So I feel like he had a great run. And we just had to have the conversation.
You listen to me when I said, you got that one for me.
What?
It's about quality of life. Not just about life. It's about quality. I say that often, right?
Yeah, you
okay.
do.
Okay. So how has life and transition been for you guys post-football career?
To be honest, like I said, just the way my career ended, so it wasn't, just as smooth as we would like out of the gate. But I wasn't going to be just to be transparent as well. No, it was, it was rough, but that's just the way the concussion was, getting back to my baseline, things like that. And every day is still a fight, still a journey. Like I said, just to completely be candid, but wasn't going to be a victim either of any circumstance. So it's just all the same effort, dedication, sacrifice, you put into, being a football player is the same thing now. Just to make sure you be the person you want to be, the man you want to be, the husband you want to be, the father you want to be, the leader you want to be. And so with that, for me, it was, just for both of us, it was always not only being a pillar on the field, but being a pillar off the field as far as the community. And so ultimately just wanted to be able to transcend what we were able to do on the football field into our community.
Well, I'm going to say this. That's great. I'm going to be honest with you. So I tell.
I wasn't just honest?
No, I'm saying you
So I'm
definitely.
gonna be
No.
real. So I was honest. She about to be
From
real.
the wife
Okay.
from
So
the
I
wife
was
aspect.
honest. She about to be real.
No,
Okay.
from the wife aspect. So I tell other wives that are currently, still in the game, I'll tell them, I say, off season, you get a little taste of it, but when they're done, understand that they're probably going to be asking you, what is this Amazon package for? What did you go shopping with today? Before they were, you had the time like, oh, they're in camp, they're training, they're in practice. So it's like, okay, I get all these shipments coming in. Don't ask no questions.
Right.
Now he's at home all the time, and it's just like
She had time to get them and unpackage them.
unpackage them. So from that, no, I'm just joking. But really, from that aspect, I would go shopping, and then I would come back home because I'm gonna be honest, I like to shop,
Right.
and I like to buy stuff for the house. Now it's like, did you change this up? You didn't notice any of this before? Like, go back and acting like you don't see any of it. So no, I just joke with some of the wives now, saying, okay, get ready because that time's gonna come eventually. So
He gonna notice everything.
yeah, but it was, like he said, it really was an adjustment at first because, it went from, we originally had long distance, even in marriage, because I would fly up Fridays after work, come back Mondays before I had to go into work. So we dealt with that long distance of, me working still because I still wanted my career. So we moved in, after I was a few months pregnant with KJ, and we moved in, I moved up north. And so we kind of get used to it, but he's still off, going to do his thing. I would be out with some of the other ladies as well. To off season, okay, we can travel, we're around more family and stuff, but when it's over, it's an adjustment because you see that person every day. It's almost like two people retiring at the same time, and you're trying to figure out, like, hold on, I didn't see you this often. Like, what's going on here? So, and also
Like,
just
this ain't what I signed up for. Huh?
yeah, also just the reality of, how he left the game. So it was an adjustment as far as, doctor's appointments, things of that nature. So, and I mean, still to this day, it's doing the work because you want to make sure. And I think that it's just healthy anyway for anyone who is transitioning from one phase of their life to another to, in a sense, seek therapy, whatever that is, if it's something that didn't end on, like he said, on your terms in a sense. So I think that, and it's always doing the work, whether, even in marriage, it's always doing the work, the communication, all of that. So I think that it was just one of those things that one chapter was closing and another chapter was opening. But I mean, I think that we've been doing pretty good. So
Yeah,
he's still
from what we can see.
yeah, he still track my packages. He still track that, but they come anyway. So
Now, you both are co-founders of Evolve Foundation, which you both started back in 2019.
Yes.
So tell us a little more about that, where the idea came from.
So the Evolve Foundation, so with it, the word itself, evolve, it means a lot. It means a lot, different things to different people. Mm-hmm. So for us, it kind of just means everything because, for us, that's where I had to start. We had to, we had to, as a family, evolve, from where, like I said, in terms of our, where we were to where we are now and where we want to be. So the word evolve is actually an abbreviation, an acronym for empowering value of life via enlightenment. So like I said, I think, first started with us. But ultimately, it's a message that we want to put out into the community that life is a daily evolution. And if you ask me, I really think just the times we're living in, we're on a precipice right now where we can kind of go either direction. And as far as us, we parents as well as 3 kids, you grow as a person, gain more perspective, and now, like I said, as parents, we just want not just the best for our kids, but for all of our kids. So that starts with laying the foundation. And we'd be naive to think that all kids, are created with the same, equal support system, opportunities, resources. I mean, you name it. And so we just wanted to be that. Something we emphasize a lot is called the village. It's a real old school term, but that's how we grew up. We grew up around a village. We still to this day have that same support system, village in place. So like I said, it's not only about breaking cycles; it's about maintaining them.
And I think it's also the social proof that, it's hard for a child to see that they can be something else, be more if they don't see it. So it's really being in the community, showing them that, these things are possible. I mean, we just recently had a shopping spree at Tanger Outlets with 5 families. And, we really wanted to be quality over quantity. So we took time. They went on a shopping spree. They had thousands of dollars to spend. And it's honestly one of the opportunities that a lot of those kids didn't get. It was one kid who, one of the families I was with, the young man, he only wanted white shoes because it went with everything. He didn't know he had options. And so I think that, you know, the main goal even for that was they just left with a smile on their face and they wanted to pay it forward. That him and his sister bought a necklace for their grandmother just because they wanted to say thank you to her, you know, because she was the one who was raising them. And I think that it's, like Kyle said, it's important to show them that it's opportunities out there for them, that I've always been big on charitable work, silently. And so even with this, it's something that we still do work silently, but also broadcasting certain things so other people see that they can, you know, people need this opportunity. And it's really, I mean, from weight room renovations that we, from the high school we went to elementary school, you know, just being the lighthouse, being the village for someone, for those kids. And so one day they'll do the same thing for the next generation, because if we can attack it at the root and help those kids, I mean, it's really just one of those things that's going to,
It's a psychological.
it's going to be psychological. It's also going to be
effect
one of
upon
those
it.
things that's going to help us overall, everyone together. So
Yeah. And looking at your foundation and looking at you all helping other communities, it's also showing that these people are loved.
right, exactly, yes.
Just, you know,
And the smile, I
someone
mean, the
cares,
smiles
like,
is,
your neighbor cares.
that's priceless,
Yes.
You know,
right,
we,
exactly.
Yeah, we care about each other. Like I said, psychologically, you just never know what that may do to a person, kid or person, bolster their, you know, their spirit, confidence, you name it.
Yeah.
And I,
Oh, I was gonna say, piggyback to what you just said, Kyle. It just reminded me of something. It takes a family. It takes a village to raise a whole family.
Right.
It really does. So it's very good that you all showing that, like, yes, we might have a little more money and whatnot, but we still help everybody else too. Let us
Right.
recline.
To whom much is given, you know, much is required. So it's just, and it's one of those things that I don't care what space I'm in, I'm going to pay. If it's opening a door for someone, it takes little to nothing to open up a door for someone. You know, if someone drops something, picking it up, saying my pleasure, saying hello, you know, greeting people with a smile. It's all those little things that contribute to, you never know what someone is going through,
'Cause we
whether
have
they're an
these-
adult or kids. And kids have a lot of pressures that they didn't have, well, that wasn't known when we were growing up, you know? So,
We have these macro outlooks, but it's really about the micro moments.
right,
you know, so-
exactly.
you guys are prime examples of chivalry is not dead.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes.
I try.
And I know a big part of the Evolve Foundation was Clarence Wright.
Yes.
And since his passing, you all created a program called The Right Way, which is the hashtag, and you all use it on your social media. What is The Right Way, and what do you hope to achieve within the community?
Well, to explain what the right way is, first you have to explain who the man was. You know, it's like I said, Clarence Wright. You know, we had the pleasure to meet Clarence a few years ago, albeit, you know, brief, you know, felt cheated. That's, you know, that's just us humans, just natural, you know, our selfishness that, you know, we just want more time. You know, always want more time. But when I tell you Clarence, man, he filled, we all have this cup of potential. And when I tell you that he filled his cup to the brim, it was overflowed, actually. You know, he did so much for so many people. He was so many things for so many people. He really displayed, I mean, just all the qualities and characteristics you will want in a person and a friend. And honestly, that's really what the right way embodies. It's, you know, sacrifice, that dedication, that commitment, that service, you know, to each other, to, you know, to community. And so just recently we had the pleasure, now the honor to partner with Dick's Sporting Goods to, partner with Dick's Sporting Goods, and we identified three schools and community leaders within those schools who, like I said, you know, displaying those characteristics we just talked about, and we granted them $10,000 each in, you know, scholarship money towards their student athletes. And so it's just wonderful to be able to do things like that with tremendous community partners, and to really just be able to keep his legacy, his mission,
Yes.
and keep his torch burning bright.
Yes.
That's good. So together, we know that you both have been heavily involved in the community, but we also know that you both have business ventures on the side. So VaShonda, I know you have Lady V Design, Events and Designs, and you also have Evolve Your Nutrition. And Kyle, you also have American Fitness and Premier Productions. So what even inspires you guys to even start the business venture?
Who want to go first? You want to go first?
Well, for me, it was, like I said, I've always in a sense, my dad will say, "Oh, she always had a job. You know, I always worked." My dad, my grandfather was an entrepreneur. He had a construction company. My dad took on the construction company as well, so he was an entrepreneur. But even throughout school, doing 18 credits, tutoring, mentoring, and I still had a 40-hour job. So I always had a job. But
that's what even. I see how she look, right? You know, and then she's beautiful inside in and out. But you know, it was like baby girl was like, I don't need you. I got
And
my
still
own.
looking young.
I think that made me want to mow.
So even something that was hard for me, but it was something that our family needed, was me and dealing with being pregnant, and my commute was almost 2 hours each way to work from home. So it was hard for me to let go of my job that it was a good paying job. You know, I was 5 years old. And so it was a very well paying job. And so it was hard for me to let that go. But I always knew I wanted to do something. I wasn't someone who would just want to sit in the house, right? I like to be out and about. I like to socialize with different people. So I've always done events since it kind of was birthed from passion and purpose with my grandmother. My mom's mom, when we were young, when I was a year, she was only given 6 months to live by the grace of God. That was 1987. She lived until 2014. But every year we celebrated her birthday. So it would be me and my mom decorating, going to South Carolina, decorating tables, all of that. And so it was a seed that was planted then. And I think it was watered through the process of our event planner for our wedding, Miss Shelby. And she kind of took me on. She was a mentor to me. We would always talk about events. I kept in contact with her. I still talk to her to this day. And so it was really like that seed was watered then. And as I came back home and I'm saying, what is it that you love to do? I love to decorate. That's why I'm always ordering something for the house.
That's what's in the packages.
Exactly. That's what's in the packages, is to make the house look nice. So, and so then, I spoke with her and she was like, I've been waiting for you to, say that you were ready. And I mean, from kids events to weddings to social events, I love to celebrate life. And I think that's where that started for Lady V Events and Designs. And then right before the pandemic, I said, I want to get in the best shape of my life. I'm a mom of 3. I want to be healthy. I was
4,
tired.
really.
Uh-oh. What?
No, I just said sometimes you call me a kid. Okay.
Oh,
that wasn't executed very well. So
I'm like, we didn't really have that conversation. So I was out of the loop.
No, I ain't like surprised. No,
I'm talking about we're not having no more. 3 and done. But really, what was the thing was, I got to the point where I was just tired. I lacked energy. I wasn't the mom that I really wanted to be for my kids because my schedule was kind of messed up. I would take time late at night and then I would be up to early in the morning binge watching Netflix or something, right? And so I decided, I said, you know what? I want to be a better mom. I want to be better for myself. I want to have more energy. I want to be the best wife I can be. And one of my friends introduced me, in a sense, to Herbalife, and I lost 15 pounds in 30 days. And I was just like, how can I pay this forward to the next person? So that is where my nutrition business was birthed, from a place of, let me just help more moms. So, and I honestly think that, like I said, event planning is my passion, but I honestly feel like my purpose is in this business because I've been able to help so many people, so many people that didn't think they were going to be able to have kids, had issues with cholesterol, diabetes. His mom is one of my proud clients, and she'll say, I went and I got my physical. My doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't know anybody your age with great cholesterol numbers, great sugar levels, great blood pressure, like perfect numbers. And so for that to be able to be that for my family, as well as other people in my community, especially in our community where health is not a priority, and to me, health is true wealth. So if you're not healthy, how can you go to the job? If you're taking off from work, they're either going to let you go or you don't get a paycheck because there's not a lot of leave without pay, right? So I think if we could, for me, prioritizing your health, that's true self-care, that's true wealth, and that's what I want to be for my community, So that's for me. That's where my businesses were birthed from. That space.
Maybe I should have went first. It's a hard act to follow. For me, it was about, whether it's nonprofit or for-profit, it's about ownership, it's about empowerment, and it's about community.
And so with, the American Fitness, like V mentioned, when it comes to our health and wellness, that's one thing that we do have to put more emphasis on. And honestly, you sometimes, I wake up, you wake up and feel like the world is on fire, at times, right? And we just got to get back to finding that common ground. And we have no more in common than our health and wellness. So as far as American Fitness, it's, for the most part, people know what you do. And, we sell merchandise, products, we're a lifestyle fitness brand, but they don't always know why you do what you do. And so for us, like I said, still, as I mentioned this, it's about, that message. We have, way more in common than we think. And in terms of that, our health and wellness, being, American. So we just want to be, that community leader that respected community leader that you can rely on, whether it's information, whether it's content, whether it's products, you name it. And then for Premier, honestly, it's all those three things I mentioned, ownership, empowerment, community. I think legacy is another word that really comes to mind. It was with my parents, so it's actually rebirth, or reimagine, if you will. My parents, they worked 2 government jobs, 40 plus years each combined, and still had side hustle or side jobs for a videography company called Premier Productions along that same run. And so, but with that still, that's why I saw all, the tangible experience of, dedication, sacrifice, all those things. And they, with all that they were doing, never missed a game, never missed a practice, always supported us. We didn't have it all, but they never felt like that. They made us feel like we never wanted for nothing. So it was that experience that really, I think, shaped and molded who I am as a person today and what I want to give to our family and our kids. And so, we surprised them on their 30th anniversary of Premier Productions. So my sister and I and a few other, individuals who, just kind of took that ride. We're just so grateful, for them taking that ride with us as far as forming the company, like I said, rebirthing it, and like I said, it's just about legacy, not just as far as the company goes, but just as far as like the culture it represents.
Right. And I'll be remiss if we didn't mention also that it's bigger than us because it's our kids to see an example, right? When I have my meetings, the kids know, oh, mommy's on a meeting, or daddy's at work, so it's we're doing things to set them up where they'll be okay financially in a sense, right? Because that's that generational wealth that you want to pass on for the generations to come. But also it's a different mindset that we want them to have. Not like nothing in life is going to be given to you. You have to work for it. And so by you seeing mommy and daddy working, you're no exception to that rule, And if daddy had a football career, but he's still doing something afterwards, it's the examples that we're trying to show them as well. So like I said, we just want them to know that it's, in life, if it's something that you want. And I just told him 2 days ago, I'm excited for, especially all 3 kids, but our daughter, she's 3 years old. I said, I'm excited for her future because her determination, she will do whatever she want to do, no matter what you think. So I said, her mindset is already going to be like, you can't tell me no to something that I have a dream or this is my dream. So, but I love the fact that the kids see, like, our oldest wants to have a YouTube channel already. And I'm like, he's 8 years old. Can I be on a YouTube channel with you? He's like, no, I want it by myself. I said, you're not old enough yet. No, I don't think so then. And so, it's things that we're letting them see, from a creative side. We are big on education, but also the fact that what is your passion? And so I think that that's something that we're instilling in them now. And kids, you can tell them certain things, but they pay attention to what they see you do. And so that's the main thing too as well. So,
and just as your parents was raising you all to be leaders, now you're teaching your children to be leaders as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so mental health been in the forefront of many conversations because, as you know, throughout this pandemic, everybody been stressed out and everybody's been noticing everything that's been going on. So for you both, have you ever had days or moments where you just felt like it's a lot going on, just handle personal life, business, your marriage and everything? And if so, what is your approach to handling these feelings?
I think I'll take the lead on that one. And I'm gonna use yours. Life is gonna life you. And that means, I mean, when I speak, speak to kids sometimes, and I tell them, hey, although it's rough, it's rough times for everybody. It's not ideal. It's unprecedented times we're all living in. And thing about it, though, this will not be the last time you are tested in life like this. Won't be the last time all of us are tested. The degrees may vary, but that's just, what life is, going through, the ups and downs and wins and losses. And then for me personally, I've experienced, I think that's something I'm grateful as well. I've experienced more losses in life, than those wins. And so I'm accustomed, to, I think, building that resiliency, that mental fortitude. And those are some of the things we don't even emphasize enough. In the school system, we talk about certain values like hard work, character and things like that. But I don't think we put enough emphasis on, like I said, the resiliency and the mental fortitude and things like that. So I guess that, that being said, we all need an outlet. I think ultimately at the end of the day, we need an outlet, whatever that outlet may be. Whether that's talking to somebody, whether that's, maybe, video games. Maybe for me, it's always, the gym has always been my haven as well. And so I think that's important, just understanding and identifying like just what your outlet is, because whether it's this pandemic or whatever it's going to be in life, you always just need to make sure you get back and find that just, I don't know, me, just make sure you get back to finding that. So whatever it is, like I said, at the end of the day, man, you just gotta get back in and just find that outlet and identify that.
I think that's good. That's real good, actually. I think for me, it's really, I'm very, very, in a sense, religious in a sense of my faith and my belief, right? And I think I was definitely at a space, like I said, the reason why I started the nutrition, working on my health and things of that nature, because I was in a space where, as a mom, and you don't have that energy, you don't have, I felt like I could be doing more, and not to say I wouldn't, you can muster up the energy, but it wasn't real energy, right? It was just enough to just get me to do whatever activity the kids needed to do, to sit back down on the couch, because I got to the point where, like I said, I would always say at the end of the night, that's my time. And I would spend it watching TV, nothing really productive, but I would spend it binging on shows, and I would stay up to all my friends know I'm like a 5, 6 in the morning, y'all waking up, I'm going to sleep. Like that was me, right? So I didn't have a lot of energy throughout the day.
She's still a night owl.
I am very much still.
Every now and
I am very much a
She's
night
a
owl,
lot
but
better.
I had to work on that's part of me working on my structure and trying to go to bed a little bit earlier. But I also think, it was one quote that I saw that said, you have survived 100% of your battles. You have survived 100% of the things that have come against you. And so in my faith and things of that nature, I always talk about a cliff, right? When you, me staying prayed up, me listening to gospel music, because that's how I know I get fed sometimes, right? And so every time I'm doing that, I feel like it's pushing me further and further away from that cliff. And so the goal is to get as far away from the cliff, so when something happens, you're not over the edge. It just pushes you a little bit closer, but you stay. And so over the past 2 years, I've learned so much about personal development, because one, dealing with the nutrition business that I deal with and having to work with a lot of people and taking on a lot of the things that they're dealing with as well. It's not a counselor, right? But at the same time, I had to understand I had to work on myself. And so in that self-work is when I'm understanding a little bit more. I don't respond the way I used to respond, right? And so I think a lot of it is, one, in my faith, like every time you're putting on that armor, but you're backing up further and further away. So when life hits you, it's a little bit easier to show up in spite of. It's a little bit easier because even though you're being pushed, you're not over the edge. And I think that that's a lot of things. And I know that there are a lot of people that are dealing with, especially because of the pandemic. Like I'm not a homebody by any means. I like to be out. Like, even if that means me running to Target and Target telling me what I need to buy, like even if it's that, I like to be out of the house. So if you think about cabin fever because of some snow, multiplied by 100, that's what the pandemic has done for a lot of people. So I think that, it's a lot of people, we're fortunate where we have kids and we have each other in a house. There's a lot of people who are in the house.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment in a sense, whether we got to clean up a mess or not. But there are some people that are home by themselves. And so I think that if anything, it's more so trying to connect with that person, you know, like check in on your strong friends type of thing, right? Check in on that family member who you haven't talked to because life has happened. You know, like take time to, you know, 5 minutes a day. Can you just go down? I mean, a few weeks ago, I went down, I said, you know, I know we've been caught up in this pandemic life, but I just want to check in and see how you're doing. Those wellness checks mean the most to a lot of people, you know? So I think that understanding that people are dealing with different times, and also, especially when it comes to kids, like I said, you know, when we were growing up, I don't feel as though we had the pressures that they have now, right? We didn't have that. Like, I didn't get my first phone. It was a Nextel flip phone, right? Until I was like 16. I think I tried to sneak a phone before that, and my parents was not having it. I got in trouble.
That Nokia.
But yeah, the Nokia, the snake, right? And so I think that now kids have access to so much. I just mentioned that our 8-year-old wants to be on YouTube. Like, what? You don't need no YouTube channel.
Right.
Like, you don't even need internet access for whatever, you know. But they have access to so many things that are going on. Social media reports the news before your local news can report the news. So you see things that can be triggers for you now more so than you could have back then, because all you would see is what would happen locally.
I think that adds another layer, in a sense where, because you know we all want, you know, we have goals, dreams, aspirations, and you know, with social media, it like I said, it makes everything more accessible, especially what everybody else is doing. And so, for the most part, people will put their results online, or will post them, but they won't always post the process.
The process.
They won't post the process of what it took
journey.
to get there.
Yes.
You know, and so that might, you know, in somebody else's mind, like, man, you know, I want to be.
I've been doing this for 10 years and nothing has happened. That person may have been doing it for 15. You know,
exactly.
You just don't know.
But think about it is like, okay, you know, what's for you is for you. You know, when will it be for you? You know, there's no, the recipe stays the same in terms of, you know, we're trying to get, you know, the undeniable work ethic, the tenacity, the resilience, all those things that we already mentioned. And so, but you know, like, don't try to gauge it off of somebody else's timeline.
Right.
You know, and try to rush the process. No, like, yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
You know, we're trying to do positive things. Positive results will follow.
You will get there
Right.
once you take your time and be patient with it.
And I think even it was something that I just found out the other day, right? We talk about, like, even because our nonprofit is geared towards the youth and dealing with mental health and understanding that they have access to more, but also like our oldest, every child is different. And we have 3 of them, they're all different, right? And our oldest, so the older 2 boys, they go to tutoring on one day a week, right, for reading. Well, our oldest, I realized that because of the pandemic, that's also dealt with, you know, kids in school not having the social, you know, just being out and about, the social skills with other kids have been kind of taken back by it. And so with our oldest, I realized even reading, like fundamental reading, things of that nature, he needed a little bit more help. So we said, okay, he'll go 3 days a week. Well, even in talking to the instructor, she said, well, do you know his love language? You know, as adults, we think about that for our spouse, or, you know, knowing that who you are before you meet someone, thing of that nature. And she said, you know, because kids have it too. And I never even thought about it from that aspect, because for kids, you automatically think, oh, just words of encouragement will be good. Well, come to find out, that little guy, he's more so, he gets motivated by gifts.
He got a lot of his mama in him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. So he gets motivated by gifts for something as simple as, oh, KJ, you did a great job today. That kind of like, okay, I don't, you know, great. But if he knows a sticker day, he does so much better on his work. He breezes through it in a sense of he's more motivated. You know, the other day he was playing with an eraser and wasn't even trying to really do the work too much. He said, you know what, I'll give you this eraser if you do the work and you do it right. He did the work in no time. He had more motivation. So I think even from the mental aspect and dealing with, you know, mental health and things of that nature, is actually knowing who the kids are and what is their love. And that's something that, you know, like I said, my oldest is 8, I got 3, and I'm just now thinking about that. It was just brought to my attention just a few days, like 3 days ago, you know? So I think even in that, it really helps if you know who your child is, or know, you know, whatever child you're taking care of, in that sense, knowing how to communicate with them. Because every child, like my second, he's definitely the affection. Like, you know, he needs the words, he wants the touch, you know, the hugs, things of that nature. So it's knowing that every person is different, and love languages don't just start when you're an adult. You know, It's really like, how do you show them love, and how are they going to accept the love from you? So, and I think that plays, you know, all of that is mental, you know, it plays on your mental. And I think that if we get to that point where we understand that, they feel more open. They have more trust. They're more willing to talk to you about whatever it is that's going on in their life and the pressures that they're dealing with at their age.
Good thing you did point that out, because that's going to change a whole perspective as parenting overall.
Yep.
Knowing your child, what their gifts are.
Right, exactly.
So Kyle, like you said, I know you've been pursuing other business ventures or whatnot. So you just recently started Hope Lives, and you just recently wrote a book too. Do you mind speaking on both pieces?
Yes. So I think maybe at this point I just, it's interesting. I just never say never, right? After football, I never envisioned myself being an author, never envisioned myself being an actor. But I think getting back to the message, right? When we were speaking about earlier, so it's not really about the medium. It's about the message. So with the book Pieces Together, who I had great support from my lovely wife here as well. I don't know. I just felt, compelled one evening, in the middle of the pandemic, and I just wanted to get a message out there of togetherness, teamwork, and unity, for our kids. And first, really behind that is about that kind of in hand with our foundation, wanted to promote literacy. Especially, those, look like us, Black and brown communities. It's so important. There's just so many boxes we wanted to check, within this project. And another one being STEM is a huge incorporation, a huge component into the project as well. Because my wife and I were firm advocates behind, STEM and just what it does and how the benefits it has in terms of the learning process. And so just humbly grateful for the reception and how it's been received, amongst the community. And I guess I just, on that note with this, as far as what's in the book, message that we like to say is that, individually you can go fast, but together we can go far. And then in terms of Hope Lives, another just great opportunity. And right around the same time, that the book came out, the filmmaker Anthony Hackett from Sunset Friday. Shout out Anthony Hackett, Sunset Friday. Really caught wind of the book, wanted be a sponsor of the book. Gave me a heads up. Hey, also have this this project film coming out. Told me about what the message behind that was, and it was an anti-bullying project. But it's really deeper than that, So I know that's kind of the theme of it. But it's themes of hope, it's themes of forgiveness, within the project as well. And when I read the script, I said, I would, I'd be honored to be a part of this project. And so it was very different, I will say that. But just like I said, Anthony being the leader he is, made the experience and just the work environment just totally fun, comfortable. And so my just going into that experience, I was thinking, hey, let me just not stink up the joint. That's all you got to do. Just do your job, right? Right. Just don't stink it up. But no, like I said, so I'm just ready for that project to come out. I'm excited for that project to come out in the spring, and can't wait to show it to the viewers, to the audience.
Look forward to it.
Yes. So moving forward, are there any goals, aspirations that you all want to accomplish this year and moving forward?
What do you say? You want me to start? You want to take that one? Want me to start with that one? Want me to start with that one? I think we've never really, just the way we went about when it comes to our ventures, never really felt like we had to force anything. So we always felt that we're even with the nonprofits, kind of the same philosophical approach we take even with the for-profit side is where the voids are. And then I think we just continue listening to what we feel like our purpose in life, and God God is calling us to do, and honestly just being able to we're really thankful and grateful to be able to do things that we're passionate about as well, and just looking to like I said, get into more and more ventures of that nature. So we have a few more projects in the works and coming out. But we're going to come back to you guys first, though.
Right,
you guys will have DMV Data will have the exclusive.
Thank you.
I think for me, it's really this year just making an impact in other people's lives, continuing whether that's on the philanthropic side of it, or if it is, having the opportunity to show other people what it means to be an entrepreneur, opening that door for them, because I know a lot of times, depending on what space you come from, it can look like, oh, crabs in the barrel, I don't want someone else to get this opportunity, but also showing that, no, there are people out there that want to share their opportunity with you. So I think that's what it really means for me, continuing to help our community with the health, because I think that especially in the times that we're in now, I had a client who basically just said that she just want to make sure that her health is in. Like, I don't care about what size I am, I just want to be healthy. And so really helping people in that nature. Like I said earlier, health is true wealth for me. That is true self-care. And so continue to help people with that. And I just, a lot of different events coming up this year, and the thought process behind it, the creativity. I'm excited to continue to just share in the reboot, because this will be 5 years for Lady V Events and Designs.
Oh,
wow.
So we just want to continue to be the change we want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
We're excited for both of you and the Evolve Foundation, your nutrition. Just keep up the good work. Keep your passion going.
Yes.
And also, keep each other in check, supporting each other. I love it.
Definitely will.
She's not going to have an issue with that.
Right,
I can assure you.
From her mouth. I got permission. No. Yes.
So before we go, can you tell us where can people follow you all, and how can we keep up with your businesses as well?
Oh, y'all ain't gonna have a graphic somewhere, like on the no, but please, on the nonprofit side, on the community, as far as what we're doing in the community, please follow us at the Evolve Foundation at www.theevolvefoundation.org. Social media, the Evolve Foundation _. Yes. Also, you just keep up, with American Finish Premier Productions, with the book, movie, whatever kind of projects I have going on. You can, check me out at www.air24.com.
That's Air24, y'all.
And for me, I just direct everybody to my main social media. All my link tree, everything's there. So it's Lady _V 2.0. So, we're taking it up.
She fancy. No, I'm not that tech savvy, so I don't know. I've been waiting for her to give me a link, provide me a link tree, but.
No, he hasn't.
Thank you both for being with us here today.
Thank you for.
Oh no, we really appreciate the opportunity.
It was a great opportunity.
Great conversation.
Fun, so
yeah. Great conversation. Need to do this more.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. No.
We would like to thank the Director of Food and Beverages Events, Chef Carl Anthony at the Patterson Mansion, for hosting us today. You can find more information about their space at thepattersonmansion.com. You can also follow Chef Carl Anthony at Chef Carl Anthony on Instagram. Have a good day.
I don't know.